Happy Friday, everybody. It's your friendly neighborhood Ricardo Wilkins and another Cute for Teams. Glad you can make it. Champions using teams effectively. Everybody I see currently in this meeting is veterans of this call, but for the sake of the recording, if you're here, you're here to geek out on teams and collaboration with teams and things like that. Here to bring you questions, all that good stuff. So, but good to see you repeat visitors out there. And good to see Stacy making her way
Hey,
in.
Ricardo.
Hey, I just gave an intro to Q for Teams that was useless because all of our friends are already in the meeting, so they already know what's going on. So,
Oh.
yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, yeah, we're glad to have you again. Um, and as always, if you came here with a question, come off mute or use the chat. I did want to do one thing real quick. So last time, I think I ended the session and fumbled on my website to make search work. When I checked it later, it does work, and I just had to come back in here and just defend it for one quick sec. So the search box here um, definitely does work. I forget what I searched on last time, but I don't know. I'll just say Copilot or something. And so it maybe I think it was that delay maybe or something. I don't know what made me think it didn't work, but it definitely works. It finds all the words and stuff. So just in case you had given up on the site. And so again, that's important, especially from the team's perspective, because what I'm doing now these days, of course, posting the sessions, the video, but I'm also taking the meeting recap and posting that here as well. So if for
Beautiful.
some weird reason you don't want to watch me for 30 minutes, you can come here and read what we talked about. And then of course, since it's all text, it's searchable as well. So that was important even for me as I tried to remember what did we talk about last week, make sure I don't start repeating myself. So yes, the search does work, and recordings or the recaps are there. Over time, I'll try to put more old episodes and recaps into this site. This is a newer platform where I haven't added all the stuff. It's all still out there though on YouTube and everything. So I just had to
Yeah.
take a second to
There's
defend the search box.
there's so much content there. That's magical that they can use
Yeah,
the search and get the right topic pulled up.
yeah. And the search on YouTube might be just as useful. I don't think the search is here, but when you go to the channel, there is this search box that searches at least the titles and whatever is out there. So this works well as well. Um, and then if you happen to be, at least today, I think YouTube premium users get some AI assistance for searching and for summarizing videos as well. So that might be something to take advantage of as well, especially if there's a video in here that doesn't have a recap. Apparently, you can use YouTube's AI to recap some of these videos as well. So yeah, that's just a quick. Just wanted to defend the platforms there for a sec. Because yeah, I was shocked when that happened last time. I was like, I know that thing works. So anyway, I'm sure you all never doubted it. Um, well, and as I was doing that search and looking at last week's oops, close this guy. Last week's conversation, I was asking myself whether we had talked about interpreter agent or interpreter in Teams. Now that is something very hard to demo. I don't have an ability to demo it here. I don't even think it's actually in this demo environment. But I just did want to call it out. You guys may have heard about it as well. Maybe seen some videos on it. That's where someone's talking and Teams is in real time interpreting what they're saying into the language of your choice with it with a voice, as you know, as if they're actually speaking that language. Very kind of futuristic style. Um, the reason I thought about it is just that when it comes to tips and tricks or best practices, I just wanted to call out on that feature that is best used in meetings where there's someone doing a presentation and they're going to be speaking for minutes at a time, because there's a slight delay as the AI, catches up with what the person's saying. If it's a back and forth conversation, that might be a little jarring for that particular feature, unless everybody was very conscientious about pausing before they start talking and things like that. So just wanted to keep that in mind. And I know that that hasn't hit many tenants yet, but when it does, certainly those one-to-manys will be a good use of that if you have folks with different language requirements, um, or anything that's presentation style. But if you want to do a quick riffing back and forth with somebody, that might not be quite as useful. So, so those are just two things that were top of mind in my head this morning as I prepared to come here. Um, so happy to hear anything that might be top of mind for you, or Stacy, if you had any thoughts that have been keeping you up at night as well. Um, but yeah. So I kind of pause for a second, see if there's anything from the group. Uh, Go with that. Um, you guys know that we also have a co-pilot weekly session going on, so a lot of my time spent there. I only call that out because if you're familiar with co-pilot, you may be familiar with the researcher agent that has been talked about a lot lately, and many people are waiting on it. It's brand new. It's still rolling out. My tenant just got it like 2 days ago, so you may see that there. So this isn't a co-pilot call, so I won't go into detail there. But it was sticking out to me as I'm sitting here looking at my screen, and I thought it might stick out to you, so I just called
Oh,
it
it
out.
was definitely speaking to me. I was like, wow, check out his agent list there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Good stuff. All right. I know I spent a lot of time talking about the chat and channels UI last week, so that's probably a horse already kind of beaten to death there. um, I'm trying to think what other kind of things. I'm trying to take my Copa hat off, so I'm trying to not go there with anything per se. Um, But yeah, curious what you guys are, leaning into these days with your use of Copilot. I mean, sorry, use of Teams, and also because we talked about this last month. Curious if anybody has been utilizing the new calendar versus the old. Um, Let me skip the feedback. Um, we kind of mentioned that this is old calendar versus the new calendar brings the best of the new outlook or web, not that they're the same, but kind of a web-based outlook to the two teams. um, I think when we talked about it last, I said I was still on the fence. I think I'm still using old just because while many times I do want all of this stuff, a lot of times when I'm open a calendar in Teams, it's because I want this stuff, right? The very team specific stuff and the tabs for chat and there. I mean, you can get to chat with the other one too, but all of this team specific stuff, and especially something that I am the organizer of. Um, I want to make sure I keep all of those features. So I think that's why I'm still on the old one. I don't know if anybody's made the jump over. And I think I saw what was that you put? Oh,
I just grabbed the filtered roadmap for
okay,
GCC and Teams.
okay, yep, good stuff there.
And I've been using the new calendar. I'm mostly content with that.
Yeah. Yeah, like 90% of the time it probably, but then it's just that 10% when I need an old calendar thing that makes me switch back. That's probably the same thing for new versus old Outlook, right? 90%
Yep.
for me, 98% of the time new Outlook works, but there's 2% of things I got to go back to old classic Outlook for. Oh,
Yeah, I did find it a little bit jarring. I think one of the things that took me a beat when I'd switched was finding the recap tabs for meetings because I had gotten really used to double clicking, opening a meeting, and then have it be a tab across the top.
mhm.
And um, now it works a little bit differently. The recap is actually surfaced a little better.
Yeah.
Um, but it took me a moment.
Yeah. It's like breakout rooms has no current I'm pretty sure that doesn't show on the new calendar view.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
don't think it
any
does.
yeah, any hardcore Teams native kind of thing like that from a tabs perspective, those still don't show. But then again, that's probably, that's that few of us that are doing things like that
Hmm.
actually need that. So I get it. I get why they're going the way they're going. And of course, there's probably more to come there. I don't know if I mentioned this, but when you talk about recap, I am loving this button here. So it's a copy link to the recap. I mean, before this was oops, sorry, that's not the
I'm
button I
not
want
even
to.
sure I'd noticed that before
Oh
just now.
yeah. Before this button was here, how did you get to the recap? It was either come all the way to the meeting, hit the tab, or if you were in Outlook, you were depending on the little, like you just mentioned, the embedded, and I don't know if I can even find it, the embedded recap, like within the message, the meeting invite. But this, because I put my meetings in OneNote. So if I hit copy link there and come over to OneNote, um, paste, and it's let me make that bigger. But it is just a recap, to that when I click it, and it goes straight there. New window, new window to the to Teams, whatever. I'm directly into the full experience of that recap. And so I use it. I mean, typically I do, see if I can find it in here. Typically, yeah, I'll do these, which is from home and then meeting details. I will hit that button to give me, and let me make this bigger, it's pretty small, to give me this full blown meeting details with all of the recap notes and the recordings and everything. I love using that. And so I don't, in this case, I don't need the recap button because it's all of it is there. Um, I guess the recap button would still be useful in this case. And so if it is, then I end up putting that into my notes. I got all of that goodness plus the recap. If I needed to jump over, because as I'm thinking about it now, I might want to jump over to look at meet mentions or the transcript or just to come in here and hit Copilot to ask it additional questions and things. So this is definitely the full experience here. So yes, I've loved that button. I haven't tried sharing the Outlook, but yes, this would be a way to. I mean, you could just use the link as well, but this would be a way to getting this recap to someone else. But like I say, before that button, there was no good way to get back to this experience. Um, so I don't know if I was the only one that cared about that, but I was very happy that they put it there.
No, I dig it too. You're
Yeah.
not alone. We may be the only two in this call, but I really do think it's super helpful.
Yeah, you guys are quiet. You're not always quiet. Maybe you get quiet in the springtime. I understand. So, but if you are out there and
And
have seen
Friday
that
morning.
feature, yeah, let us know. The other thing I was thinking about that I had mentioned to you guys in a previous session was let me start up a meeting here. The expandable, let's just do a meet now. Expandable, flexible windows of a meeting. Even this one here, oops, clicking too much. Even this one here is, see how it changes as I go thin or whatever. But anyway, you come into a meeting, get rid of this, and things like chat, I think this is the one I was raving about, is now popped out to its own window, which is cool. So lots of things have
Very
popped out.
cool.
You
Yeah.
can pop out the chat, you can pop out the content that someone is sharing. So that's three windows. Now, what I don't think I mentioned last time was I discovered, and I don't know if I can show it here, but oh yes I can. Language and speech, show live captions. So again, I turn live captions on a lot. Not not because I need translation or anything. I just like to see the text of what people are saying, or if someone isn't speaking clear, if I can't hear them clearly, the captions help. So I'll have these on a lot. They're also good to confirm that people can hear me. Is my mic on? Well, I see my words in the caption, so at least Teams can hear me. But this is also now pop outable, which I think is awesome. And the reason that's awesome is because the captions did take up too much space, in my opinion. Let me put it back. Takes up all of this. So whatever someone's sharing here gets squashed a little. And even when you pop out the sharing, caption still stays on, which makes total sense. But again, it's squashing the content a little. So if I want the best of both worlds, I want a big content sharing window plus the captions, then I can pop that out and put that wherever I want or make it, thinner or whatever. Um, so that has been lovely. So and again, for all those folks who are presenting and say, if there are any questions in chat, I can't see them, all that, this is the answer to that. This is the answer to seeing your captions separately, shared content. And I was wondering if there was anything else that popped out, or is even worth popping out. I don't know. I didn't even look at breakout rooms. I don't know if I create some rooms, or those. I guess they technically are always there. They're different meetings, so they could be. I don't know if they're popped out, but I could certainly open up their meetings separately. But I
And
don't
then
see
pop
them.
out that meeting's captions and that meeting's
Now
chats.
that I didn't try. That would be crazy. Even with
That
all the
would be
monitors
a
I
little
have,
much.
that might be something. That might be crazy. Yeah.
But that is
Uh,
very helpful.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, having all these again, even here on this one screen, I mean, this is even more powerful when you start talking two monitors. But even on one screen, this just has value as I can kind of decide which thing is, goes. Looks like captions it's got an always on top mode going on, as you can kind of see here, which is an interesting
Mm.
choice.
Hmm.
These two get to be, I get to decide. So that's interesting. And it's nice, actually. I think I'd have my captions on the side and won't be worried about it being something coming over it. So, um, yeah, so chat, the shared content. Then, of course, you can't really see it here, but there is a new feature where the microphone button actually has like a little volume level. Again, to that question of can you hear me? Well, now we can actually see the volume level on the animation of the mic registering your voice. So that's nice. Um, Again, if I had a camera in this environment, this drop down is also where you can preview what will be seen if you turn your camera on. So those drop downs have been really nice quality of life improvements. Um, and I have also noticed very recently, at least in my internal build. So I have so let's just go into here more video effects, right? We got all of these backgrounds that we can choose. I tend, as you can even see right now, I'm using a custom background that's not included in the default list. And that, so that I do that by adding new, uploading it, and it goes to the bottom. Well, I always want this custom background that I'm using. And so I have to come in here and I always scroll down to the bottom, especially when I'm trying to turn my camera on quickly. That takes a while. I have seen some feedback in the forums about, hey, is there a way to pin these or anything? Which doesn't look like there is yet. But what I have noticed recently is I think in this view, this guy is starting to be that custom background. This last thumbnail here seems to be my custom background that I use often. So I don't know what the algorithm is there. Is it doing the last one I used, or is it doing it because I use it frequently? I don't know. But whatever it is, I like it. That is definitely what I've been waiting on. So I don't know if that's something somebody's trying out or if that's a feature to come, but I'm liking it. Um, so yeah, because that guy there, I think, yes, it happens to just be the first one in the list. But mine is always down there. And so, yeah, so that's good. So I don't know if you guys have that problem of you're having your favorite background being all the way
I
at the
do.
bottom.
I've thought
Yeah.
about if I can delete ones that I never use,
Oh
get
yeah.
them out of the way because of that, but I don't know that there's a way to do that.
Yeah, I don't think
Um,
so.
but yeah, definitely it seems like my favorites are always at the bottom of the list. And in my selection for the camera, it's just like yours. I think it's doing the last one I used, but
Okay.
I can't really confirm that. And that, I don't know if that's the last one you used in that environment or not.
Yeah. I would also be curious if anybody I don't see it here. Maybe I'm in the wrong view, but the AI background. Oh, it's the decorate. That's right. I don't know if anybody's ever tried the decorate background. Again, in this environment with no camera, it's hard to see, but fancy celebration surprise me. It takes your actual real life background and does cool things with it. Like clean up, makes if there's a bunch of papers on your desk, somehow it AI makes those papers go away and makes your office look clean. Fancy. When I've tried that on, I mean, you can kind of see a little shelf behind me here in my camera, but it has put fancy trophies and globes and all kind of stuff on the desk. So it's weird looking, but it's cool. But I don't use it often because it's just, I don't know, it's weird. So I don't know if anybody you ever used that. I can imagine though if I did have a messy desk. I mean, I try to keep what's behind me relatively clean, but cleanup is a pretty good idea. If I just cannot keep my office clean, let AI fake somebody out about it. So good stuff. But yeah, I wanted to call out that um, captions pop out. I just noticed that one day, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I've been needing this." So, but I might be one of the few that turns captions on all the time. I don't know. Good stuff. That might partially be because of the notes that I take. Sometimes I quickly grab something from the captions window to copy paste into my notes because that's it's basically the transcript. Well, it's kind of like a temporary transcript. So I just want to get exactly what they said, and so I'll grab that real quick, and so that's another reason why I use the captions. If and I could do that even with the recording it, even if the meeting's not being recorded. If it was being recorded, then I could use the transcript in relatively real time, or go grab it later. But with no recording, the captions does give me a few seconds to grab what just got said verbatim and copy and paste it into my notes. Yeah, and I can either grab the text or screenshot. I love screenshots. You should love it too. They are essential. And if you don't know the shortcut to screenshots, Windows key Shift S should be your friend, or some macro that lets you do it with one click. Screenshots are amazing. But you already knew that. You guys are teams evangelists, collaboration evangelists. You love screenshots like I do, I'm sure.
I sure do. And I was familiar with the shortcut.
Yeah.
But if anybody has any other shortcuts that they like to use, I tend to use too few of them, I think.
Yeah.
We can throw those in the chat.
And since we're talking
Brandy
about,
got one. Yeah.
oh yeah, there's a Alt print screen. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Print screen. The print screen button, at least on my keyboard, gets the whole desktop at one shot. In fact, I think it gets all your monitors. You know, you guys may know I have an embarrassing amount of monitors on my side. So print screen's not going to work for me. That's going to give me a really big picture. But yeah, alt print screen, maybe that would be a little different. Another screenshot attempt in OneNote, it has its own button. I don't know if you knew, insert and screen clipping. And then it does its thing, you grab it, whatever, and it puts it right into the thing. So sometimes that's nice. And I actually take that button in OneNote and I actually pin it up into the bar here so that I can get at it with one click. So that's another way to do screenshots. One nice thing about that OneNote screenshot is you not only do you get the screenshot, but you get the screen clipping date and time. So if you were frantically screenshotting and putting in OneNote, if you used OneNote screen clipper, each one would have a down to the minute snapshot of when you took it. So that could be useful. And then what is that? Windows H. Oh, launches dictation. Yep. Yep. Yeah, lots of places to use that in Teams, including in a chat. You can talk faster than you can type. Well, actually, I don't want to limit you might be some super fast world record holder typers, but most of us talk faster than we type. And so Windows key plus H in a chat would be useful. Good stuff. So just random tips and tricks today, which that's what we're here for. Good stuff. All right. Well, the next time we get together, Build will have occurred. Microsoft Build, the big conference. So there will be a new book of news for that. And so we might have things to talk about related to Teams, so come in June if you want to hear us talk about whatever new announcements have occurred. We don't get a ton of insight into those announcements, so it'll be news to us just like you, but we can chop it up here in June. Good stuff.
Exciting.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, we're glad you could join us. And we're always there on aka.ms/cute for teams. And we're here monthly, so we'll see you in June with summer staring us in the face. All right. Good stuff. All right.
Thanks for having me back, Ricardo.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Have a good weekend. See ya.